Hi, welcome to Gemstone Tarot. This is a love reading, and if you're drawn to it, there will be a message for you. I have a feeling it's going to be quite specific, okay? I've just got this strong desire to get the cards out and get cracking with it. So yeah, there will be a message for you if you're feeling like that kind of weird intuition, if you don't even know why you're here, but you've got an inquiry, you've got a love story, you've got a situation. Welcome. Okay, let's get the cards out. There will be an extended reading for this, so if this resonates with you, the extended will be in the description box. There's a link you can click on. What we do there is we do some really deep channeling, we get a bit freaky with the cards, we pull oracle cards, love cards, anything goes really. So let's crack on. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot. This is for any star sign. Just the most important thing is that you're drawn to it, okay, for whatever reason. At the end of the reading, I'll be doing some angel answers cards. So if you have at the end of the reading really specific questions, save them until the end, and then I'm going to pull some angel answers, yes, no cards as well. Okay, let's start with the Light Seers Tarot. What do we, oh, okay. Yes. Wowzers. Some of you are stuck. You are stuck. Wow. It's raining, by the way. It's absolutely hammering down, but I feel like this is a really good thing. Wow. Okay. Some of you are stuck and you're feeling the desire to protect yourself from somebody, or protect yourself from, from hurt with somebody. There's been a big cycle with a specific person. When I look here, we've got the Hanged Man, okay? I love this deck. The Hanged Man is, of course, suspension. It's being stuck, but it's not the same as being stuck in your car or something. It's almost being voluntarily stuck, but also not voluntarily stuck. It's like a conflict of suspension. It's, how did I get here? And for some of you, why am I still here? You know, for some of you, why am I hanging around is in this reading, okay? Now, there are a lot of powerful cards on this table. So the first thing I want to say to you, I think, is in your specific situation, please go easy on yourself, because I feel that some of you have been maybe talking to yourself a bit negatively about this, particularly if you are in a situation which you feel you shouldn't be in, or you feel you should have done differently. You know, I feel that there is a certain amount of coulda, woulda, shoulda, but an awful lot of conflict. Now, the first thing is, okay, we are human. You are human. You're in a situation with somebody here that is powerful, that is probably challenging. You're just a human being. You know, we have our foibles and our faults and our weaknesses, and they have their weaknesses. And the first thing is, while you're in this state of suspension, and it could be something to do with the lockdown, or, you know, like literally that you can't see this person, or there hasn't been communication, or there's been some kind of hiatus. The first thing I want to say to you, and I know this sounds really basic, and everybody says love yourself, and you've got to love yourself first, and you're like, yes, I know I've got to love myself first, but I'm not feeling it when this person never calls me, or whatever it is. But please be easy on yourself as much as you can. Be compassionate with yourself, because this situation hasn't played out yet. It feels like you're in a stage with it where the anticipation of what might happen, and the paranoia and the worry and the overthinking of it may have caused it to become overwhelming. Okay, next to the Hanged Man, we've got this Devil card. Now, I like this deck because, quite frankly, the Devil is temptation for a start. And when you look at most tarot decks, the Devil does not look very tempting. It's just like, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole, thank you very much. So when it comes to this card, this is a temptation. This person is inviting. They are inviting you to something. It's like the hand is out. They're a good-looking person. They have a kind of slightly magical air about them. I think we call it charisma. You're dealing with somebody here who has charisma, who also has what I would call juju, okay? A juju that resonates with your juju. I know that's not a very good way of putting it, but I think, you know, if you're feeling that, you're going to know what I mean. There is a connection between the two of you that is Neptunian and tempting and probably quite chemical, but also can at times be negative. And I think you know that. I think you've experienced that with this person. For some of you, there's been a third-party influence, or there's been someone talking to someone maybe on the internet. That might just be for one or two of you. Or the question of whether they have, or something about their social media, or the way that they are interacting with others, okay? But I don't feel that that is the main part of this at all. You are in a deep cycle with this person, but you're in a deep cycle of your own. You know, relationships hold up a mirror to us, and it's very hard to see this when you're actually inside it. But this is holding up a mirror. And I feel like somewhere in this kind of swirl of chemistry and feeling and, you know, for some of you, jealousy or paranoia or lack of communication, there is a real gift in there. The Devil card is not just a bad card. It doesn't get a good rep in tarot because it's the Devil, but the Devil, of course, wouldn't have any power if they weren't inviting, if there wasn't something tempting, if you didn't want something they were offering, okay? There is something on offer here, but at the moment I feel it's very obscured. And the most important thing for you, I think, is to get very clear on it. To get very clear on what's being hidden. And I don't even think that something is being hidden deliberately, as in, you know, in one or two cases, yes. In one or two cases, there's a third party here. And you think it is, and it's true, okay? In one or two cases. But on the whole, the things that are being hidden are down to a lack of communication. The more important thing is the lack of communication because of life events, because of misunderstandings, because it's difficult for two humans who care about each other to communicate? It is. I know that people, you know, say, oh, this is my soulmate, or this is my person, or whatever. Doesn't mean it's easy to get your point across to that person. Usually you can, you know, if you were telling your best friend something, you'd have it out clear, you'd have time, you'd say what you meant, you'd be completely honest, you'd have a clear channel of communication because it's your bestie, and it's just like, yeah, I can tell you all the ugly stuff and you'll still love me for it. There is something about you and this person, about getting to a stage where you and they can communicate the hidden ugly stuff and still love and respect each other for it. Now, important, that doesn't mean, let's say you're in separation from this person. That doesn't mean you get a specific conversation to get back together again. It means you get an honest conversation. But an honest conversation with somebody, particularly if there hasn't been completely open and honest communication on both sides, is a massive gift. Okay, it is. It's a massive gift. It's an invitation. Now, at the same time, and the reason I think you feel guarded, we've got this 9 of Wands, and I think you're right to be guarded, is that there needs to be a boundary around the truth. Now that's channeled, so it's weird for me because it just came in. Needs to be a boundary around the truth. For some of you, the way that you get to the truth with this person may be via an argument. So let's say you have a point to make. You start talking to this person and you misunderstand each other quite quickly, or maybe it's an argument, as with most couples or most people in connection in whatever way. There's usually one argument that just keeps recycling itself. It's like whack-a-mole. It's like, are we really talking about this again? Are we really talking about that person on the internet, or that person I talked to, or this issue about money, or whatever it is? Okay, I feel that for a lot of you, that this is old cyclical argument. But as they say, love brings up anything unlike itself to be healed. Things keep coming up. It's a mirror. You hold a mirror up to yourself, but you hold a mirror up to the other person in a relationship. Mirrors are quite important in this scenario. Next to the Devil, we've got the World card. When you get the World card, it's major arcana, so it is a cycle, okay? It is a cycle of events. It's a cycle that you and a person have been working through together, but also separately. That's what I really get for this. There is a conversation to be had with this person, but it also is part of a bigger conversation that you are having with yourself. I know. Okay. 9 of Swords. This is the difficulty. 9 of Swords, there's 9 swords over the top of this person's head. Okay, in this deck, the Light Seers Tarot, which, can I just say, is a magnificently beautiful deck that I'm in love with, makes the swords birds, and it makes for a very beautiful reading, okay? However, when you get the 9 of Swords, you are up in your head. You are, if you imagine, you know when you used to get those things that look like a crystal ball, and then you put your hand on it and it goes zzz, 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 and you get loads of that kind of crackly purple electricity. I know, I love those things. That's what your head's like about this person. I feel like with this Hanged Man influence, and in order to be able to recognize if they are the devil for you, because this is something that's in your journey at the moment, okay? You don't know whether this person is your soulmate or the devil, you know, or whether they're both, or whether they're not good for you, or whether it's tipped over into something unhealthy rather than just something very dynamic, okay? While you're up in your head, maybe you've been talking to friends about it, analysing text messages, analysing their social media, analysing your own social media. That's for 1 or 2 of you. You've been putting up pictures to catch their attention, to try and communicate with them, to tell them a particular story. Maybe you're trying to make them jealous, whatever it is. And again, we are human, okay? These are very normal things to want to do. What's going to really help you here is to drop into yourself in whichever way you can. Now this could be, and it sounds weird to be saying this in a love reading, but anyway, it could be exercising, walking, meditation, thumping your feet on the floor, finding something on YouTube about settling into your own body. There's an energy here of wanting to get away from yourself and into the other person, and it will make you feel grabby. It's going to make you feel desperate. It's going to make you feel chasey and like you're kind of abandoning yourself. And actually there is no need. There is no need. This decision, I suppose, or this process, this cycle, remember the world is a full cycle. This process is a deep process. It's not something you can split into two sides of a bit of paper, pros and cons, okay? It's also not fully played out yet. It really isn't. This is going on between now and September for some of you. Don't know why, but I think it's leading us up to Virgo season. That's ages away. I mean, God knows, April, May, June, July. Yeah, it's 6 months away. But this is no small thing, okay? Then we get the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, again, is distinguishing between fantasy, between reality, between fear and between intuition. What is fear and what is intuition? And it's weird because if you are asking a lot of opinion of your friends at the moment, I don't know if it's going to help you. If you're going to ask, and of course only ask your really trusted friends in this, if you're going to ask for advice, I suppose is what I'm saying, ask for advice about yourself rather than about the other person. Do you remember we said there's a conversation that's going to happen between you and this other person, but also it's a conversation between you and yourself? The primary conversation is between you and yourself, okay? Overall energy card, yeah, we got the Two of Cups. Venus in Cancer, an electric connection. And there is an electric connection. We wouldn't be here if there wasn't. That's what I mean, okay? If you're resonating with this, you wouldn't be doing this unless you really felt there might be something really good here, because this has caused you quite a lot of worry and sleepless nights. Why would you do that if you didn't feel it had some crackling potential, okay? One or two of you, weirdly, might get static electric shocks when you go on shopping trolleys or escalators. It might have even happened when you held hands with this person or touched their jumper or something like that. I'm getting literal electricity, lightning, the feeling of it's really hard to explain it, but it actually feels like physical electricity. Now, those of you that watch my dailies, and by the way, do have a look at your March monthly readings for your individual star sign, okay? Those are in the description box below as well. Those of you who physically, gosh, it's really hard to explain this. There's something physical about this person that almost feels like a force. When you're in their presence, it feels like a physical force to you. Again, as if you're having an electric shock. You know, I don't know if you've ever had an electric shock. Please don't try it. It's not good, okay? Touching wood. I have. Once held on to, and it wasn't a serious one, just held on to one of those cattle wires, you know, those electric fences. When you hold on to it, you think, oh, what's that? That's weird. When you let go of it, that's when you kind of feel like you're being pushed backwards. There's a feeling here that this person pushes you. They do, okay? You push each other. You're going to push each other a bit more over the next 6 months or so. there's going to be some push and some pull in this relationship. And that push and pull is going to sort whether this is something that can enhance your life or whether it's something that you actually can't really cope with. Do you know what I mean? Or that you'd rather not cope with. 8 of Wands. This is a card of communication. This is something happening, okay? But I feel like it is over the next at least few weeks. Gradually, especially if there's been no communication with you and this person for whatever reason, there is a tidal change about this. And communication starts again. Maybe very slowly, maybe starts with dreams in the 5D, maybe starts on social media rather than directly, and then progresses to individual communication. It's making me itchy. But communication starts again, okay? But just know that this is kind of only the beginning. This communication is a journey with you and this person, with this big cycle. It's a journey. And at the moment, you're both undecided, Hanged Man and the Devil. This person is more likely to offer their hand first, okay? But again, although you're going to be very tempted, it's a process, it's a push and pull, it's a shaking down of finding out whether it can work. 8 of Pentacles, Sun in Virgo. This is the card of whether something nuts and bolts can work in the 3D, because however spiritual we are, we live in the 3D. We have to live, if we're going to be with somebody else and be in relationship to somebody else, that relationship lives among others in the 3D. So there needs to be a way of turning up together on time, being financially secure, whatever it is, okay? There are some parts of this person that you question. I feel like if this is resonating with you, your life is quite together in terms of you are earning your money, you are doing what you want to do, you've got certain aspects of your life very secure. You know, you're doing the business one way or another. It may not be perfect, you may not be loaded, whatever it is, but you're kind of making stuff happen for yourself on those levels. But the person that you're dealing with, you don't know whether you're ready to, or whether they're ready to share that with you, those kinds of tasks, those everyday, sometimes boring, domestic, financial, 3D tasks, or even, you know, being regular about communication. This is a relationship that has the potential to be quite tempestuous. Okay, now not all relationships are the same, and not everybody wants a relationship that's always steady. Okay, depends what stage in your life you're at, depends, you know, whether you feel that the connection is worth it. Don't rush yourself on that. Okay, this is a process. This will be, I think, over the next 6 months. Now, in the extended reading, oh my God, I'm going to look at the Devil and the Hanged Man. I'm going to look at how they feel about you and what might be going on. And I'm going to do some individual channeled messages, okay? For the Empress here, just a message for 1 or 2 of you. This has a lot of potential for pregnancy. This is just for 1 or 2 of you. This electricity and, in some cases, the universe's need to kind of bond you together. You need to obviously make your own decisions about, you know, what you want with that kind of thing, whether this is something you're planning or whether this is something you don't want to happen, or whatever it is for you. It's very personal, that. but just to be aware of it, that there is a fertility about this relationship. There's a fertility. May not be literal for everybody, but it is a fertile ground, okay? I'm just putting that in there. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of angel answers before I do the extended. So if you have a very specific question, have it in mind, okay? That one. And I'm going to take a couple of tarot cards with it. What do we need to know about this? This is important. Okay, you go look for a sign. So you're asking this specific question. The universe is telling you to look for a sign, and I'm going to take a couple of tarot cards to go with that. Okay. Weird. I like it. Look for a sign with the Five of Wands, okay? If you are in a situation, your question here is literally you can't see the wood for the trees. There is something to do with trees or the forest or woodland. I know this sounds mad, but you will get what I mean. This could come to you in a dream. It could be a deer. It could be a leaf. It could be a trunk. It could literally be that you see something in a forest if you're able to be out and about at the moment, or that you are very connected to this forest, or you're connected to this person, or that you do a meditation where you go to a forest. You can get those on YouTube. Just look up guided meditation forest and a sign will come. You'll see something. You may see an object on the ground, okay? You might see, I can't tell you what you're going to see. That's not the point to this, but I like it. The Fool with the Ten of Cups. Yes, your situation has a lot of promise with this, okay? A lot of promise. I'm going to do one more. So if you have one more question. I like this. I haven't done this before. I think I'll do a couple more of these in the extended reading because I'm getting into it actually. I'm going to include these as a part of that. Okay. So this is a question most likely surrounding this devil character here. And the answer you get is trust. Now, those of you that watch my dailies will know I don't sugarcoat things, okay? This is not necessarily telling you you can trust this person. That's not the hunch I'm getting, okay? You need to be careful about this. That one. Do you remember I was saying, do you remember I was saying to you that this is not quick answers, as in this is not something you can decide in the next few days. This is definitely a process. There's push and pull and there's a shifting out. So, can you trust this devil character? Can you trust this tempting person? Or can you trust this situation? Three of Cups. Do you remember I said there might be some sort of third party energy? There might be something that is giving you pause. It may not even be a specific other person, but it might be something you've seen or something you've heard or just a feeling you've got, okay? Reserve judgment for now. I get the Seven of Cups in reverse. Do you remember we had the Seven of Cups in the reading here? Working out fantasy from fact. Is it your fear? Is it because you've been in relationships where people have let you down that you don't trust this person? Or actually, should you not trust this person? The jury is still out. I would be wary. I would be wary, okay? Don't automatically believe everything you hear because it's not quite right. but don't allow that electric connection to blind you to something that might be right here, but maybe you're not ready to see it yet. Okay? Now, again, this is connected with look for a sign. If you are really kind of, and we get like this sometimes with Nine of Swords energy, we get really het up about it, upset about it, we're thinking about it, obsessed about it. It's very hard to make decisions around that, about whether you can trust somebody. Take yourself off. Take yourself into that meditative state that we talked about. You can do the woodland one. You can go to a forest in a meditation. And just ask for a sign. You're not going to get one conclusive sign that goes, yes, that's it. And you're probably not going to understand what it is that you see. But just, again, absorb it. This is a process, okay? We get the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is about dropping your defenses, but at the same time staying heart open, okay? God, that's fascinating. I'm going to go do the extended reading. We're going to look at the other side of it. We're going to look at their situation, the Devil card in particular. We're going to unpack that and do some channeled messages and some more of these angel answer messages. Okay, if you want to join me in this resonated, the link's in the description box below. Do like, share and subscribe and leave me a comment. Okay, I'll see you soon. Namaste.